MrShine!
MrShine! Hello, hello. It's MrShine back once again for another arena run. And this time, it's happened. It's finally happened. We're going Mage. The other two I've already done.
You asked for it.
Even though people might be enjoying seeing some of those guys in action again, I think I'm just going to go through each hero. And we will see how good of a Mage deck this is. Not all Mage decks are great, despite popular opinion. But yeah. Okay. Ethereal Arcanist. I can't count on secrets. Most secrets for Mage aren't very good, so I will not pick that. Bloodsail is trash. And Emperor Cobra is a removal spell for 3 that sometimes can be useful. Even more so. It's good. It's relevant in all stages of the game. It'll 1-for-1 most of the time. Not the greatest cards here. I think I will Bluegill, though. Bluegill is basically another removal card, and it is useful to play. I like Bluegill. I like Bluegill more than probably some other people do, but it's not bad early game. Flesh-Eating Ghoul. I'm not a huge Flesh-Eating Ghoul fan. Even when it gets really angry, its HP is too low. Polymorph is better than this trash. Booty Bay is a weak 5. Both of these are very weak 5s. As you can see, their stats are just not good enough. And Polymorph is very useful for removing those big threats. Geomancer has some value in Mage because there are a lot of spells. I'm going to go with Sen'jin because Sen'jin is a very strong 4. That 5 HP is great and it can kill. Usually we'll 2-for-1 in the early game stuff. We'll do some cleanup and protect other things. Arcane Intellect, I'm not a huge fan. It's okay. It's decent. It's kind of like Thoughtsteal in the sense that you spend 3 mana and get 2 cards. You know a better chance of what they're going to be. But it's not a card you want to play on 3. I don't like Cone of Cold. It rarely does too much to me, and I'm okay with... I would take a Murloc Tidehunter over a Frostwolf Grunt, I think. Because you do play a lot of mages in the arena. But I am also a mage, and sometimes I can make use of that extra minion. This is an interesting call. Which one do I value more? Something with 2-1 HPs, or a little more stat. I'm going Murloc Tidehunter. I'm going to get a little Murloc theme going here. Murloc actions. Some really bad 2s to start us off. Speaking of bad 2s. Okay. I think Cult Master is a choice here. Arcane Missiles. It's a decent removal card. The luck of it. It's just so hard to really predict. It's not something that I love. Cult Master. Especially actually with some of the stuff that I have right now. Some cheap things. The answer. Interesting call here. I wonder if Arcane Missiles is better than Infiltrator. I think it might be a little more flexible. So many 2-1s in this deck so far. If I would play that, I would play that as all. The one problem is that Arcane Missiles I can't play on turn 1 if there's nothing else there. But I think I will use this. It could be more handy in a pinch at a later point. Okay. These guys, man, it's been a long time since I played Mage. I have to get back into the swing of it. Amani Berserker is good in Mage. I think Youthful Brewmaster, I tend to like that better. Although it can be awkward at some times. Not too much synergy yet. I think I can do this just because a 3-2 is just so much more reliable. That's it. Molten Giant. These are kind of lackluster. These are all not very good. I think I end up going with Molten Giant. My deck is not going to be built around a delay in drawing into Ice Block. Spellbender can have the dream when you eat a Blessing of Kings or something. But it's just not... I think the one nice thing about these two is that people don't normally expect them, so they could play around a random secret. Molten Giant might not always come into play. My deck is looking pretty bad so far, so maybe I will be hurt enough to drop down a big fat Molten Giant. It's tough. Spellbender. Other 3s. That's a spell on a minion. Molten Giant. Molten Giant. Losing my voice here, apparently. Whew. Alright, I think Injured Blade Master is the choice here. Sunfury is okay. But Injured Blade, you can trade up. Still decent. Maybe I'll get something later that can make more use of it. Mana Addict is a joke. Fine. All good. I think the answer is Ogre, though. Ooh! Whoa! Okay, let's continue. I'm apparently stir crazy. It's Ogre. I don't have any good 2s right now, but Ogre's Ogre. Ogre's so good. Oh man. Oh man. Hello, you may notice the noise is a little different. That is because I lost connection when I last did it. My microphone started muting, but I will continue to discuss over a week later and try to talk about my picks. So the last one right there, the Frostful Warlord, was just the strongest card there. This one is between the Sunwalker and the Violet Teacher. I don't think I have enough spells, and Sunwalker is just such a solid 6 that has to be the card. Counterspell is situational, but it's just too situational. This one's pretty easy. Harvest Golem is the best card here. Torn Warrior is bad. Nightblade is bad. Harvest Golem's great. This one's also easy. Raptor is the only good card in this set. Boar and Rifleman are overexpensive or too cheap, and good old 3/2s. Warden is really strong in Mage because of the ability for me to ping it, and it's pretty much a threat that needs to be dealt with. So here, these are all really bad, and I don't like having too many Arcane Missiles, but it has to be Arcane Missiles because the other 2 are just worthless, basically. So I think I spent a long time on this one. I do have a few cheap spells, so Gadget Stand has some value. Knife Juggler is probably the best 2-drop as far as Arena, just because of the benefits, but Azure Drake is really just such a solid card. I don't get a chance to draw this too much in the Arena, but it's so strong. Giving you that extra card, still having that spell damage as well. It's a 4/4, so it's a strong body. It really is the answer here. You can never really have too many Azure Drakes. This is tough because I want both Flamestrike and Fireball. They're both amazing Mage cards, and I think the reason I justified Flamestrike here was that if I could only have one in my deck, which would have the biggest impact, which of course would be Flamestrike. These are okay. Both these secrets are situational. They generally will kill a card, but you don't get to determine what that card is. They don't always make a lot of value. I ended up going with the Assassin here. I'm not too thrilled with it. It's kind of slow, but if you can put it down, I mean, this deck is starting to shape up to be, well, it has some strong late game damage. Kind of like a delayed Fireball in a way. It's more expensive and not as good. Alright. This one, Frostbolt's. Frostbolt's awesome. This one I'm so happy to have Frostbolt's. Great as early removal. So this one's a little unique. Spellbender is, again, very situational, not too great. Sea Giant is really good. It's probably one of the best epic cards in the Arena and the one that I ultimately go with. I was a little hesitant here because of Big Game Hunter, which is also pretty fantastic if you can kill something with it. But I think my justification is A, Sea Giant is amazing, and B, I already have a Polymorph. Yay, a Fireball! Alright, so in this one, Dragonhawk's bad. He's out of the running. If I had some buffs, maybe Thrallmar would see something here. But this is just a case of nothing too great, and Cone of Cold is probably the best of the bad here. It may become useful later. I have some to delay things later if I get some Giants down, or yeah. These are also pretty bad. Frost Nova is 1 less mana than Cone of Cold, but it pretty much guarantees card disadvantage because you can't kill anything with it. It's only a delay tactic. Raider's ugly. Torn Warrior is bad, but Torn Warrior is at least not as bad at Mage because you can self-ping it and make it a 5/2. So that is the one I pick. Any second. I love Sorcerer's Apprentice, but Fireball. What more can be said? 4 mana for 6 damage, flexible damage. Be a finisher, can be a big dude killer. Too good. This one I don't want another Arcane Missile. I have 2 of them, and Bodyguard is just not a very good 5. But Archmage is good, and I can actually have a decent amount of spells in this deck to make it worthwhile. These are also not very good. I have to go Reckless because the other 2 are too easy to die for free by hero abilities. Reckless is a card that you sometimes can play for burst late game, combined with my Assassin, I do have a lot of late game burst in this deck, so I might have to be more aggressive with my series. Rocketeer is best to play on an open board because you can deal that 5 damage and then it also has to answer your threat. Sometimes it can act as really expensive removal, but usually when that happens you're in trouble. This one was tough. Ventrico is really strong and the one that I ultimately go with. I was tempted though to go Bloodfen Raptor just because I am a little short on 2-drops. I do have 4 2s that I would play, well 3 that I would almost always play. Frostbolt and Bluegill Warrior are more situational, so it's not... I could have gone Bloodfen here too, but having a Ventrico is, again, it kind of falls in line with my aggressive deck, something that they would need to remove. If they don't, I hit them very hard, and yeah. And another doozy at the end has to be Vaporize. I know I spend a long time diddling about here, but Ancient Mage, I do have other spells to make use of Ancient Mage, but it just asks too much of you. It's a bad 4 on its own, and it needs 2 minions out to have full value, and you need to play a spell on the same turn to make sure that you have that full value. So it is just really not good. Vaporize will always kill a card of some sort, it's just that you can't really predict what it's going to be. So yes, past MrShine, you will select Vaporize. Alright, and that is the deck. So, reviewing, it's not great. It has some strengths. It has the missiles. It has a little bit of early game, but I think the early game is a little weak. 3s are so-so. I think it excels in the mid game, at least because I have those 2 fireballs and a polymorph. Those are great cards. If I can get something on the board in the early game, my Cult Master will give me some value. Then towards the late game is really where this deck excels, just because I have the Azure Drake, I have the Ventrico, got the Archmage, Ogre. I have a lot of burst at the end. I have those 2 giants, so it could get close in a few games. I could get low life. Maybe I'll be able to pop down a giant. Maybe I'll be able to pop down 2 giants and then go to town. But we have yet to see. So yeah, well, I've been MrShine, and I'll see you guys next time.